And good morning, everybody. It is Wonderful Wednesday with Connie Jo Holmes. And I'm so excited to have you on here.
Thank you. It's
I
been
have
a
to,
while since we've
I
chatted
know,
or saw each other.
I know, it's been like forever. I think it's actually been coming up for a year. So that's crazy. And we are excited, everybody, because we're going to see each other at the Mid-America Hypnosis Conference. And if you haven't got your ticket yet, I would get it very soon because I think there's about 25 tickets left. This is going to be absolutely fantastic. First of all, you've got Connie speaking, same as me. What are you speaking on?
I'm talking about group work, how to do hypnotic group work.
Ah, very good. And any kind of specific thing in particular, sort of like, is it for performance or what is it for?
No, not the performance. What it's going to be is just, whatever you want it to be. I do a lot of group work, whether it is breaking the sugar addiction, just different things like that. I'll use break the sugar addiction as an example. So I'm going to talk to people about, some things to do to ensure a good hypnotic experience since you're working in a group. I'm going to talk about how it's such a great way to promote your business. And then it's also another piece of the pie in the pie chart of revenue for your business.
Yeah, absolutely. Because with group, there's more people and more people know more people. And there's always some little single things that they only want to talk about privately.
Yes,
So,
yes. Yeah.
yeah.
And I know when I've done using the break the sugar addiction as an example, because that's something that's pretty easy to do as a group. You're eating too much sugar, right? So you can do that as a group, but I can't tell you how many of those then have turned into people seeing me, for that one-on-one client. So
Yeah. Because there's always a reason why they're
yeah.
eating so much sugar, because we know it makes people feel good. The dopamine hit.
Yes.
Instead of they couldn't get it from somewhere else. So yeah, no, I love that. So yeah, I'm speaking on. I will be showcasing the bunny talk process, but it's about feeling indifferent first before we can even get to that place of forgiving somebody.
Yes, I love that. Very, very important. Yeah.
Because it's not just forgive them.
Right.
How? Why?
If it was that easy, right?
Exactly.
Yes.
We all know that people, we may pray, we may do things, people will do whatever they do on an issue, but actually, no. You actually sometimes just have to really not care about that thing anymore, because everybody thinks that the opposite of love is hate. It's not. It's actually indifference.
Yeah.
It's like, so what?
Well, and hearing you say that, I have read that so many times about marriages that as soon as that partner becomes indifferent, it's done.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree. Been there.
Right. Same here.
Sorry. And I'm excited as well because I've got a pre-conference workshop, the Bunny Talk process.
Yeah.
It's a 1 day, and anybody who actually does that, they also get the bonus of a 2-day online, which is in November 8th and 9th. So
nice.
I know, really good value.
Good. That's wonderful. Yeah. Because I know you've been doing that training a while, like going on 2 years or.
So yeah, coming up for 2 years, and it's growing, and I'm excited, Connie, because I haven't seen you for so long. It's in Australia, it is in Belgium, it's in Ireland, it's in Spain, it's in the Netherlands. It's going places.
That's good.
Obviously the UK. So yeah, I am excited for it, and I've been, people have been asking me, well, can I become a trainer? So I'm doing that in March.
Good. Fabulous.
Yeah.
That is really good.
I did your workshop.
Yep.
Which was absolutely awesome. And tell everybody a bit about that.
Yes. So it's actually the strategic planning workshop. It is about, no longer allowing your business to just fall to chance and creating that strategic plan for your business. A lot of times, I come to this work with 30 years of corporate. So a lot of times people think, oh, a strategic plan is for, the Fortune 500 company. And it's like, yes. And that's why they're a Fortune 500 company. But we should have one as ours too. Even if we're a solopreneur, having that strategic plan is essential, absolutely essential.
Well, you see, you went through I can't even get my words out. You went through it with each of us in detail.
Yeah.
Okay. Because you really care. That's what I like about you.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And it was wonderful because you said to me, well, and what else, Claudia?
Yes.
And what
yes.
else? And I went,
Yes.
oh, there's more.
Think big.
Oh yeah. And it was
Yes.
like, and you gave me permission
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do that.
Right.
And it was just like, it just went, yeah. And then, so when I have people asking me about certain things, there's always something. I know my cat's
I
just,
know. Sorry. I should have muted it. Sorry.
it was like, yeah, actually I can do this. And
Yeah.
so I am. So next year in Spain, I'm doing Train the Trainer in
Oh, I
Spain.
love that. I love that. Good. Well, and then too, we tied those strategic plans to your values, because values give things legs. And with those legs, we can march forward even better, but we're standing on something nice and strong. And that, because sometimes when it gets a little weary and like overwhelming, we rely on those values and they push us forward.
Yeah. And I love that you did, again, all had a big deep dive into those values and what they really meant for us. And yeah, it was a really good course. I encourage everybody to do it with you. Because you, as I say, you take it very personally with each person, and you hold space. And that's always the one thing I've always loved about you, Connie. You have always held space for me. I've gone to you with some like personal stuff, and you've just held that space for me, and so I really value you.
Thank you.
Anyway, so
thank you so much. That's sweet of you.
Quite emotional then. But the thing is, what I love about you and I actually, do you know, I'm going to throw myself in there and say I actually am really appreciative of myself as well, guys. You know, and I think this is so important, is that Connie and I, both of us, we had a little chat about this before. We talk the talk and we walk the walk.
Yes. 100%. That's so important. Yes. Yeah.
Tell us more about what you've coming up.
Well, just really quick on that. So speaking of values earlier, integrity is my number one value. And so when I tell people, I suggest to people to have your personal and your business values, is to define them for you, not Merriam-Webster dictionary, but you. So my definition of integrity, the oversimplified version, is if I'm not doing it, I'm not going to suggest to you to do it. So as an example, a few years ago, I was part of the 5 a.m. club, and I did kick butt and take numbers, and it was just fabulous. And so when I was doing that and seeing all the benefits, I talked about it all the time. But now I'm not on that 5 a.m. club anymore. I'm more like the 6:30 club. So, and you know what? It's working for me right now in my calendar and stuff. But anyways, but I'm not going to talk about waking up at 5 a.m. because I'm not doing that right now. So that's an example of me having integrity as my number one value. But then back to what you said about walking the walk, talking the talk. So I don't know if I'm going to officially do this or just kind of do it in name a little bit, but my company name is Be You to Be Full. And that has served me well for a long time, but I'm actually starting to transition my company name into Confidence with Connie. And I just think it attracts a little bit more of a broader audience, and then quite honestly, more of the corporate audience. Right. So I have some motivation for considering that. But anyway, so Confidence with Connie. I am a confident person, but I just signed up, and I know you're doing some stage hypnosis, and I'm not doing stage hypnosis, but you might know that this past February, I did my very first stand-up comedy show, and it was with two other people, and it was an hour. We were there for 30 minutes a piece. So we had a 30-minute set, and we did it in front of 100+ people. And I had the best time. And so I actually just signed up for a stand-up comedy course. It's just a 6-week little course, but I want to start considering doing that, a little bit more professionally and stuff like that. And then 2, that's getting out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
So to me, doing stand-up comedy is confidence with Connie, right?
Absolutely. No, I
Yeah.
mean, it's and with the comedy stage hypnosis, it's like I got to be a little bit funny first of all, and then it's like, yeah, come on up, and
Yeah.
it's and I'm learning. Oh my gosh, this is actually really hard because I've got to look after the audience, the people,
Yes.
myself, the tech. But I'm getting there.
And you will do fine because you do so well on the fly and all that kind of thing. So you will do fine with it. But I know what you're talking about going into it. Yeah, there's a lot of things to consider. A lot. Yeah. Yeah.
And I love it. And why not? It's like, because what's the worst thing that'll happen?
Right. Right.
Essentially, well, yeah, it may be whatever. But what did I learn?
Exactly.
It was an experience. I would then bring that into a comedy. It's like,
Right.
it would make, it's like, because it may be a bit of a tragedy, but then, and I say this a lot now, because I think I got it from Lara Cox actually, was that comedy is tragedy with time.
Oh, I love that. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And it's so true,
Right. Right.
there's things that were actually disastrous when your kids were little. And, I've got some nice furniture here, but I've got like little people drawn on them. This is like, their first little people.
Right.
Well, when I first saw it was like, my nice furniture. And now it's like, oh.
Yeah, right. I know. It's anything with enough time just all turns around, right? I always, how they always say everything in life is either a blessing or a lesson. And I always like to add, because if you hang on to the lesson long enough, it will turn around and become a blessing as well.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is the worst thing that would happen? There actually really isn't anything.
I know.
I will have learned something. People will just think, wow, she was so brave and she messed up.
Yeah. I agree. We're always creating new material, right?
I will just go, and I'll even say that these are what these are what people said. Oh, gave it her best, but the poor dear, nobody understood her English accent or whatever.
Oh my God, I absolutely love it. So,
yeah.
Well, I've thought myself about, do I want to do, comedy hypnosis? Do I want to do a hypnosis show? And so far that's not pulling me. That's not pulling me. But what is pulling me is the stand-up comedy, and maybe because it's just me and a microphone in the audience. I don't have to babysit and do, some extra stuff. Like you said, you do got to pay attention to a lot of different things. So, but like I said, I think I caught the bug last February. Yeah, I learned a lot, which was really good. But another reason why I'm taking this class too, and I want to, just play around and consider doing some stand-up comedy again in the future, is because I also teach a course about mastering your speaking skills. And and speaking skills don't have to equate to stand-up comedy, but we all know, part of communication is our body language, how we express ourselves on stage or on Zoom or something like that, or on StreamYard, I should say here. and so again, walking the walk, talking the talk. I just think it's so vitally important.
Yeah, because people see you doing it. Oh, she is actually doing it. I mean, same with everything. If we're asking our clients, we've already said that about your 5 a.m. You're asking your clients to do exercise. You're asking them to, reduce this or reduce that. Well, are you?
Right.
Right.
Yes.
It's or if you've got somebody who's a hypnotist and they're getting you to feel more joy and more abundance and what have you, and you're like moaning all the time about lack of this, lack of that, and you're like all the time.
Right.
Well, it's like, no,
I know.
Come on.
It's so vitally important, and also with you deciding to add the the hypnosis, the stand-up, now I'm saying stand-up comedy, the hypnosis shows, sorry, stage, to your mix. Yeah, because that's what you're doing too with your clients, right? You're having them move from, A to Z, and we all show that and demonstrate that and model the way in different ways. And so I just think that's huge. What motivated you to want to do that?
Well, actually, I'm quite funny anyway in my sessions. Most of my clients are like thinking, "What is she doing now?" Because it's like I've got, you see my chair, and I have to move it towards them, and I do this.
Yeah.
I know I must look really stupid, and then it's like I say to them, and I don't care. I actually say to them, I don't care. I'm wanting you to see that I just don't care. I
Yeah.
don't care what I look. It just doesn't matter, because
Right.
so many of our clients, because I'm sure you like me, get people who are perfectionists.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
wouldn't dream of having, of doing anything out of the ordinary. And it's so funny because I had someone even only this morning. They I think I was fiddling with my music, and I looked up, and they were busy because we were about to do some hypnosis. They'd been to the bathroom, come in, and then they were like getting their legs up, and they were pulling this like little blanket on them, and it was so funny. Alpha male, all right, just doing.
Oh,
I
yeah.
look up, and he's going, I know, and I'm like going, and I don't care. He'd not done that when he first came in.
Yes. It's so huge, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah. There's just so much of this caring what other people will think. And part of that is age. Part of it is. There
Mhm.
is nothing like, yeah, I just turned 55 in July, and it's kind of like just stepping into something even more powerful. So I know a lot of it does come with age, but those people who can learn that skill to not give two hoots
Mhm.
way earlier in life, oh my gosh, they're
Yeah,
just,
yeah. So I'm modeling it.
yeah, one chair scoot at a time.
And then sometimes it creaks, and I go, right, if it breaks, I hope you're just going to laugh with me, right? So we have a bit of a giggle anyway. And yes, I see people for, as you know, a lot of awful things. Okay. However, when they leave, they don't feel that way anymore.
Right.
They feel indifferent towards it. It
Yep.
was shit, it happened, but it's no longer here. It's like
Yep.
somewhere else.
Yep.
And and for me, laughter is the best medicine. It's been
Agree.
scientifically proved.
Hmm.
And I'll just share this because this was really funny as well today. So I had, because Gestalt
Yeah.
therapy. All right.
Yep.
So I had, oh God, that resembled somebody's father. All right. And
Oh,
next to him. I don't know if you can see this.
I can see your chair, but if the shit, oh, there we go. Yep.
So he was shouting at this. All right. He was shouting at that. And then it's like, and then, well, anyway, just started laughing. Okay.
Yeah.
And it was like, well, how can I ever be that upset with him anymore? Because now I'm just going to see him as that little poo emoji.
Right. Right.
He-
Well, and I'm sure that helped him immensely.
Of course it did.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I mean, we had done some other work, and of course then I tidied it all up in hypnosis because that's what I do. But it even took a picture of it on the chair because it's like, yeah.
And do you know what I like about it too? Because it's making me think of NLP a little bit too, right? Like have that person that harmed you or whatever it might be, and you shrink them down, you have
Mhm.
their voice turn into a cartoon character or something like that. And so
You downgrade the bully.
well, and so that's where I was going to go with that, is because here's this little piece of shit sitting on the chair, just so tiny. So just even like shrinking it is so powerful.
And he was just like laughing. In the end, he was, well, I can't. And in
Yeah.
the end, of course, you're going to love this. He said, well, actually, now I can think of the good things he did. So I said, okay. So we put a little bunny there because he was nice and he was kind and he did do other things. And then he went, thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's important. It's one thing to sometimes take away, but yeah, if we can replace or add or give something, whatever that might look like with the client, I think it's so important because they have something to hold on to. On that note, I just helped a gentleman with anxiety, and so I had seen him for a couple of sessions, and after the first session he said he was like, because I always check in like, oh, what can we celebrate since we last saw each other? I learned that from Randy Light. What can we celebrate? And so he just told me, he's like, well, I went to this market with my wife, and like a farmer's market type of thing. And his wife turned around and said, what are you doing? And he's like, I'm here with you. And she's like, right. You normally would be waiting in the car for me. And he didn't even like realize he had done that. And then I saw him for 3 sessions. So on the 3rd session, it was, what can we celebrate since your second one? And he had a similar story, but then this one was about, going out to a sporting event. And it was just amazing. And so I always follow up with my clients a couple of times, a couple of days later, and maybe a couple, 2 to 4 weeks later, just, hey, how you doing? Because I care, that. And anyways, so he actually was a little bit lost without having that anxiety. And and so I thought that I had addressed that in the session. And so we had conversed, over email and texting and stuff. And so he's fine now, but that was really interesting because, people carry this stuff around, and then it's like, wow, okay, I don't have that anxiety anymore. Number one, you realize how much time that took, right? How much time that stole out of your life. And then no wonder you feel lost.
Yeah.
So, so interesting.
So it's important to fill the void. No, it's important. What you're saying is, what is it going to be like? What are you going to do without it?
Yes.
What will fill that time? Because actually you're right. Having that anger or having that frustration,
right.
It took a lot of space up. What are you going to fill it with? And so I always make sure that people fill the void.
Right.
They because the buddy talk process, anchoring good things. And that's why I have toys around all the time. I just do. There's always something.
Yes. Yeah. No. And I love that. Well, but then back to walking the walk and talking the talk to a degree, because, I don't know about you, but every single client teaches me something new. Right. Because I do know that about, like filling that void or whatever it might be. But upon reflection, it's like, well, did I do that enough? Or maybe it was just him, maybe who knows? But yeah, it's like every client, it's like, oh, I learned something new. Oh, I'm going to apply this the next time. Oh,
or sometimes you get reminded.
Yes.
To make sure you do it, because you do know it, or you do it, but actually it's to really check that they got it, because you probably did do it, but they hadn't taken it on board. They were just so relieved to get rid of that.
Yes.
And that other bit, it hadn't really registered that they need to fill it with something. So you probably did. It's just that the time, it took them to realize that, oh, there was a gap,
right?
And I'm missing something. And what is it? Oh, I need some more, ice cream, if you like. That's what we call. Oh my gosh, there's so many different fun things now that since you took the training of the bunny talk, that we've added to it. So that's why it's now 2-day online, to make sure that everybody gets it. So because there's so many other bits to it now. Yes, I'm so excited to see you soon. I get to give you a big hug.
I think, and same, I'm excited too, because I think it was last year's Mid-America was the last time I saw you. I know it was, now that I'm saying that out. And you were there last year, right? Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. So
that was when we because then I took your course after it.
That's right. Yes.
So that's why it feels as though we had, because we'd seen each other online.
Yeah. And that went until December. That's right. It was like October to December. That's right. So no, it'll be nice. This is a great conference. I love it. And it's the longest standing one in the United States, right? Is it like year 41 or 42? It's been around a long time.
I'm not sure, because I know the NGH is like really long as well. So it may be I'm not sure exactly of the numbers. I just know that anybody, if you get to meet us or see us again, if you know us already, and there's always so much fun to be had. I'm excited. I don't mind saying, really
well,
excited for it.
And for anyone listening, Claudia and I always say, no, we're not going to be a subject in that stage show. We're going to sit and we're going to watch, we're going to observe, we're going to learn. And then our happy asses get hypnotized in the audience,
They
and then
do.
we get called up.
I'm going to be helping. I'm helping Joe.
Oh, good. Okay. Okay.
I've got a show literally on the Saturday after the following Saturday. So it's like, and I haven't done, that's going to be my first one. So I need that.
So what do you feel right now?
Oh, really excited.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. You know, like I've already said, what's the worst thing that will happen?
What are you excited about the most?
I just like to perform. I like to perform.
Yeah.
And just be, really sounds really awful. I don't know. I just like to be center stage. But hey, I'm owning it.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and you definitely are if you're the one running the show and leading it and all of that. Yeah.
I'm not the star of the show though, because they are.
Right. Yeah.
But I mean, I'm only guiding it. And same with because I don't know if you feel like this when you're working with clients, is that it's a performance all the time.
Oh, yeah.
You know, because we're always on show. I'm always doing my best. So I'm even on a phone call, you know, I will always turn it on to make sure that they get the best of me.
Right.
Because I think that's what can help create change.
Mm-hmm.
Now, they are obviously still the star of the show, but that's what I like.
Yeah.
But what about you? What do you like best about doing the comedy stand up?
I love pushing myself. I love taking myself out of my comfort zone because I just think that's huge for growth in every way, shape, and form. And I do like to make people laugh. I like to just, you know, and I do that, you know, with my friends and family and stuff like that. So, you know, because with, like you said earlier, with laughter, we can just change things around so quickly. So, and then also, you know why too? I think comedians are freaking geniuses. Like the concepts that they come up with, it's like, and they say it in such a, and maybe it's the humor for me that makes it lasting, but I just think they're smart as hell to come up with what they do. And I want to be in that category.
There you go. There you go. You see?
We all have our own motivations, right? And it's important to know that. And I always ask my clients, like, why do you want this change? I mean, we know Simon Sinek and the power of why. So I agree with that. It's important. But yet the why to me is your motivation. But to me, I always ask my clients, but who are you going to become once you reach that goal? Yeah, because to me, that who is what sustains you.
Well, I asked, what would that give you when you have something?
Yes.
Yeah, so it's a similar kind of thing. But no, I agree. And actually, you're the first person who's asked me that. So I hadn't even got that. But so it was like, you know, I haven't really thought about it, but yeah, I think so. I just like to perform, but then I think I perform all the time, probably.
Well, and then too, you know, if you know that and stating that out loud, it's like, okay, well, in your liking to perform and doing that stuff, can you add some new element or some distinct feature or something like that to your stage show that makes it unique and totally yours or something like that?
Absolutely. I'll be taking the mick out of my English accent. I've got my jokes. I actually even ran them through one of my clients. They stayed a bit longer and I was going, is this funny or is it offensive to Americans? I had to check.
That's right. The whole, yes. Yeah.
They were in stitches. They said it's fine. I went, okay.
That's true.
It's like, oops, you know. So yeah, there'll be things I'll be keeping clear of, but it's very self-deprecating of my English accent as well. It's quite you know, because it's funny, you know.
Right,
you can't
exactly.
get away from the fact that I have this English accent. It's like right in people's faces.
Yeah.
It's like, let's talk about it,
Yes, yes.
So it's so yeah, so no, it ends up being quite funny. Oh my goodness. Anyway, Connie, I could talk to you all day, and no doubt I'll get to spend lots of time with you.
Yes.
Oh, that's so good. I'm really excited about that. So everybody, thank you for watching. And it's goodbye from me, Claudia Rickard, and it's goodbye from
Connie Jo Holmes. See you
Okay.
guys soon in Arlington Heights, October 17, 18, and 19. Get your tickets right now because it's a great,
Yes.
great
Come along.
conference.
Come along. Take care. Bye, everybody.